Welcome back, my delinquents. We have a kind of interesting topic floating around at the moment. I think React streamer Smugalana has been getting some interesting emails in their personal email that are honestly unbelievably crazy. But there is a reason I'm connecting these two stories, because if you weren't around a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of debate about VTuber managers. And are they really just VTuber boyfriends? And why would an indie have a VTuber manager? And you're going to say this is funny because I'm pretty sure like a lot of these act channels and others were joined in on the meme saying like no manager and stuff. But I think this is a good example of why a lot of indies spend $100 a month or something. And I'm going to be real with you, a lot of managers are more like assistants because they most get low tier assistants. But to go through their schedules and emails, and this is exactly why, because no one wants to read this. No one wants to see these emails. So pretty much the gist is that a creepy, I want to say Mex offender just spewed a bunch of information in her email trying to argue the age of consent or something. It's very weird and deranged. We're gonna read over it. It's honestly what the hell. But this is exactly why a lot of streamers or a lot of companies in general have someone that specifically goes through emails, because no one wants to read this crap. The last thing you want to know is that people like this exist. What the hell? Even I'm like, I've seen some stuff on the internet and I'm like, what the hell is this? Just like, why does someone like this exist with these opinions? But let's get into it. And don't trust me, you can see for yourself. We are now in the detective room going over these emails, which is gonna make you roll your eyes a bazillion times. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these are a bit rough. But this seems to be just having a one-sided debate with her online in her emails. And everyone's gonna be case. Of course, they have a furry profile pic. Not all furries, guys. As far as I'm aware, there's some very just normal people. But for some reason, they do gravitate to this fandom. But let's go in. There's a pedo bear in my emails trying to argue with me that children can consent to sex with adults. I hate my life. And this is exactly why some people give $100 or $200 just to do their emails, schedules, whatever. So this started with pinning a comment. I pinned his comment on YouTube 4 months ago because they said this dumb shit. Now they're crying in my emails about they're getting harassed for making a public comment about wanting to be with children. Is this the consequences of my own actions? I think it is. Guys, if you say something public, people can do whatever the frick they want with it. That's kind of how it is. You can change, you can apologize it, whatever. I'm surprised there's 106 likes on this, but like, people can do whatever they want with public information. You cannot control it. This is something people have been talking about for literally since the existence of the internet almost. Not any age thing consent. It's maturity. I always find it weird with people like this. They try and sound really smart, but they can't string a sentence together that sounds right. A pure child can't consent because they know nothing about adulthood. I don't trust no one who says a pure child, I'm gonna be real. A mature child can consent because they most likely know more than even adults do. Child knows more than even adults do. I'm sorry if there's any kids in this comments, you don't. Like, you can be maturer than your age, but you don't know more than like all adults do. It does not mean you're not a child. You can be a bit wiser than your years, but that doesn't mean you have to be doing adult things. It just means you got a bit more of a step ahead. Let's stop saying kids can't consent and stop with the immature adult issue, please. How is that an immature adult issue? And if it's an adult issue, why are kids bringing it into consent? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It literally does not make sense. If it's an adult issue, it should remove kids, meaning kids cannot be involved in a consent issue because they can't consent. They're counteracting themselves so much. And now, as they say, can we bring back asylums, please? Honestly, there's a lot of people online that need extra help. I'm not saying asylums, but extra care and mental health and stuff, but sometimes they just won't change. It's just like, oh my god. From kids technically being able to consent, as consent is just yes or no, and not seeing some invisible force that adults get to say is a thing. I think they are completely missing the point of what consent is. It's informed consent, as in they know all what it means to consent. It's the same thing. Contract. If you sign a contract, but you couldn't possibly know what you were actually consenting to, it's invalid. Kids can say yes and no, but do they understand what that means? That is really the crutch of this situation. Most kids don't understand what the hell they're even saying yes or no to. To even my youth and how when I was a youngling, I would have fully consented and even knew what porn was. So, and I watched it without my parents' knowledge, and it is why I love women so much as I do now. I don't know what consuming porn has anything to do with loving women. I think he's like seen loving women and wanting to have sex with women. And they're really different things. Being attracted to women and loving a woman are two different feelings. One's lust, one's love. I'd reasonably say you should avoid putting these comments on your channel in the future if you're missing context, like in my case. Thanks, and I hope you continue making your content. You can do whatever they want, as much as for lols. If you make a public comment, it could be pinned. He could easily edit his comment and change the problem or add context, but he didn't. Because he's just yambling. I don't know why every time I see a story like this, they just ramble and don't really make a good point. It's just a lot of jibber jabber. Hoping they will just talk and talk and talk until you agree with them, which is pretty much an uneducated person debate. They will just talk and talk until you're sick with them and then go, oh shut up. And that's how they win an argument. It's not because they're right. People just don't want to listen to them. The furry pedo wants me to sue for slander. Oh no, I'm shaking my boots. Oh no, getting sued over a YouTube comment? We're terrified. Everyone's terrified. What you're technically doing is slander. It's also clarified what I meant to you, yet you're still standing your ground. But did he edit the comment? He could have changed the comment. And is it slander if they just pin what they wrote? No, it is. It's literally just something they said. That's not what slander means, kids. Please. Slander is saying something that is false. They just pinned something they actually said. If they worded it that people don't understand what they're saying and they feel like they're being persecuted, that is technically their fault. They should clarify themselves or you change the comment. By law, you could find yourself with a hefty lawsuit, and that's sad that you don't want to listen over being a broken record. That's a terrible sentence again, mixed in there. But next up, America moment. Sorry, my American fans. But everything's a hefty lawsuit. No one would accept this case. Everyone thinks you can sue over everything. You can't. I know what you can sue a bit more, like in America, unjust lawsuits, but that's a bad thing. And you would lose and be in a lot of debt. You would be laughed out in Australia. No one would hear this. Next to it would also be small claims. So what's the frickin' point? Small claims courts are always limited funds. Fuck me for wanting people to use their brains for 2 seconds. Why can't everyone use their brains like him? He's just smarter than everyone else, right, guys? Sorry, I'd be so sarcastic and someone's gonna be like, you're obviously very biased. Against stupidity here. Children are children, guys. Children are children. They're called children for a reason. God. And also the whole use your brains to be as intellectually advanced as me, but you haven't made any intellectual points. You're just whinging. But it's true, the youth of next gen can't use their brains. He's probably like, what, 20 or 40? I swear, with these creepy pedo bears online, they're either like barely an adult or they're like a 50-year-old every single time. You go make your YouTube videos and look forward to a well-researched and heavy-hitting lawsuit because you just made a huge enemy, my dear. A hitting lawsuit. Pff, I hope he gets laughed at. Oh my god. I honestly wanted to keep this civil, but I guess we can't. Truly sad. Truly sad. Why do they all sound like clones of each other? That's what I want to know. Is like a special place on the internet they learn to speak stupid? Because they don't make sentences correctly. They always say the same phrases. Is this just what they think smart people sound like? And now they're adding the FBI. I wanted to spark convo to make people think about why it's not they can't consent, but more they shouldn't consent. Could have said that. But it's the same thing. They can't consent because they don't have the cognitive. It's exactly the same. Anyone with half a brain cell understands it's not yes and no with kids. They can't say yes or no. Oh, they can't talk. No, it's because they can't make informed consent. And it's not about they shouldn't consent, because you should teach children how to consent from an early age. Yes means yes, no means no, stand your ground. That is something you're taught. So you shouldn't teach kids they shouldn't consent, because that's taking a bad precedence that they're not going to feel like they can actually consent, say yes or no. You have to teach them the consequences of consent. You're learning, guiding, parenting, all that stuff. It's wrong even in the basic level of child psychology on how you should raise a kid. He doesn't understand it, because if you teach them that they shouldn't do that, they're not going to understand how to do that. You are genuinely are. And I'm just gonna read it. No, wait, will YouTube take it down? You are generally tarded, and I don't know if that's worse. And honestly, I thought with how nice you were that you would understand, but I'm guessing that your chat saying you're stupid is a valid statement of facts. You don't agree with me, so you're stupid. You know what, that sounds like an echo chamber. Guys, you have to take on opinions, read them, and then decide, but it's called confirmation bias. He wants it to be true, so it must be true. It's low IQ opinion. I'm not saying I'm the biggest IQ in the block, because that is not true, but even someone with a basic level education can see the holes in this. Good to know I shouldn't put much faith in VTubers or well-tards who believe kids can't consent. So 90% of the I'm gonna be 98%. I'm gonna say 98% of the population believe this. So he wrote believe as be and leave. So he's either angry typing or he really can't spell. It's minor spelling mistake. We win, boys. It's the internet. I'm kidding. But holy crap, right? Holy crap. These are the reasons, because can you imagine waking up to these emails and being bombarded every day with the fact that people like this exist? No, you wouldn't want that. It would ruin your day. It might sour your mood. So this is why a lot of VTubers do take on other people to read this crap. But some people thrive on it. They don't mind. They're like, oh, fingers up, boys. But because I know a lot of big YouTubers that check all their emails because they like trolling, bad sponsorships or stuff like that. But it's all about what you like to deal with and what you don't like to deal with. Can't wait for the federal agent to read this after I block him. Oh my god. Well, it might be hard with the a million low IQ people out there. It wasn't a sponsorship for breeding or fucking kids. It was a statement of facts. Facts, guys. He speaks only facts. Anyone who knows true facts understands that consent isn't magic. It's the statement of refusal or the statement of agreement. Alana? What the fuck is he trying to say? Saying a kid can't consent is both retarded and lacking maturity, as it oversimplifies it, but it also says that kids are property. Okay, fact, a lot of countries actually, even in America and Australia and stuff, they do view children as property of the parents. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that is kind of has happened. The idea here is he's getting really picked down into pedantic of this, but saying kids can't consent, meaning that they're yes and no, doesn't mean they actually consent to the acts. That isn't the same thing that he's trying to say. He thinks he's being clever here, pointing out something unbelievably obvious, but the reason we phrase it that way is because if you say kids can't consent, it makes a statement about their mental faculties to consent. Not that they can't physically say yes or no. And he's being clever here, but he's pointing out a technicality that is incredibly obvious to normal people, but anyone with half an IQ understand why they don't change that, split definitions, because law has to be black and white for a reason. Because if you have lots of simplifications in here and like you get into the little tidbits, you have loopholes, and the law has enough loopholes, unfortunately. And when it comes to personal civil rights and stuff like that, they try not to have as many because it causes problems. Which is also untrue. They are people, not objects. No shit. Don't agree, then as stated, please go do your research. Do your research. Won't say what it is, won't say backing up his facts, but just do your research. Saying kids can't simply removes the blame from the parents. They'd been protecting the kids in the first place. Yeah, it's parents' fault when guys like this abuse your children because you didn't protect them enough. What kind of fucking logic is that? Yeah, kids are irresponsible for taking care of their kids. They're responsible for teaching them, like, their right to refusal, their rights to acceptance, and stuff like that, and, like, what appropriate and not. That doesn't mean they completely at blame if some sick mother trucker comes in and tries to hurt their kid. Like, that's not how that works. Yes, some parents might be at blame at times for the way they treat their kids, but most parents try and avoid this shit. The bidder wants to sue me for slander, and he wants to post my in-real-life information after he wins the court case. If this is an elaborate troll to make me look at my email to laugh at this shit, you won. You say if I win, I can post a picture of your online for everyone to see. Hell no, one father, you respect the challenge rule. I get to post the whole docket to the public, your info, and I really want that. Okay, one terrible sentence again. Dude needs to understand full stops, but also I hate when reading this stuff because it's like garbage for the eyes. But also, one, making a deal in an email is not something you can hold up in law. And two, this just shows that he's a petty fuck and he just wants her information to try and show her, but he's not gonna win because I would be surprised if anyone took a case like this. Something to me in a YouTube comment about opinion it. lawyer. Get the fuck out of my office. What the fuck, bro? Guess this is more Pacific police. This Canadian citizen in my emails is starting to become a mass shooter. If you want, I can forward you to the conversation so you can do a proper report on him. I'm legit good at this point. Sorry for trying to be a nice guy. This is why this word is ruined. This is why so many guys that are actually nice don't actually say nice guy. They just say I'm an okay guy. Nowadays, because a guys like this have ruined for everyone. I'm a nice guy. I just want to fiddle younglings. Yeah, I use younglings. I just want to fiddle younglings and shoot up schools and dox VTubers. I'm just a nice guy. Oh god. Some people need to be on more like preventing drugs. I think I should be I think I should become a mass shooter. You think that's a good idea to think? I should stop being lazy and should go on a rampage? No, not joking either. What a loser. Okay, I'll be honest, guys. Like, this guy is just begging for attention because he has nothing else going on in his life, obviously. He's just, like, nothing. He's probably doesn't have a job, doesn't have anything going on for himself. He doesn't have passions or stuff, and his whole thing is online trolling. That is the only thing he has. And he's just begging out for attention any way possible with what he thinks is an intellectual debates, which he doesn't properly understand because he's probably regurgitating information that he read off some YouTuber. He couldn't even be bothered actually going to academic articles. He just regurgitates someone else's opinion. What an absolute mess. But as you can see here, this makes a point here, and I'm sorry. This is exactly why some YouTubers and VTubers don't check their emails. And also, this is exactly why some people lose faith in humanity. I'm sorry, that is like so dramatic. But yeah. Dell, that's barely a story. It's a story to me, and that's what matters. It's a story worth telling of... This is why I don't check my email. Don't message me. I'm kidding, guys. But is probably not going to hurt anyone, thank God. But like, this really needs to, like, I wish somehow they could end up in like a mental health facility or something to try and work on these delusions, because it's very likely a lot of people's like they're a little bit on the maybe schizophrenic side or something like that, where they suffer delusions of grandeur and etc. But it's just unfortunate other people around them have to suffer, and people will just, like those 102 likes, praise that it was like a lot lower than it could have been, but people agreed with him. Oh, it's depressing. And honestly, I can understand why a lot of people don't want to read this stuff, don't want to read this stuff in their emails. And it's not just because VTubers have boyfriends as managers. It's because some things just crush your soul and makes you sad. Because even reading this, it gave me a little bit of a... like 5 minutes of sadness that a person like this exists in the world. Because like, you're in your bubble in line when you're having a good time, you can think that most people are nice, and then someone like that comes along and then you're just like, it reminds you how dark of a place the world can really be. And when a lot of people's job is to always be happy, it can be tough reading through this. And I think a lot of people understand after reading through those how annoying and how like it is to have to read this stuff, and like people like this exist in the world. But yeah, I hope this guy go frick himself. And I know, go to a mental health facility, bro. You're off the rails. Like, situation, I hope he can get help. I hope he can cure whatever this is that he has. Most likely not, but I hope at the very least he is removed from situations where he can hurt anyone. Because honestly, when people go on rampages like this online, like, they should not be permitted to work with children. And you'll be like, oh, but it's just something he said online. If you're saying this shit online, I don't care. I don't want you near my kids, bro. I would want someone talking about like technical consent, working around their like steroid or something. No, exactly. We need more consequences. We need more extremes. Okay, you're like, Del, where did you wake up in the morning to be like this? I don't know, but full of extremes. But I don't know, guys. What do you think in the comments below? And don't take me super serious here. I just find people like this incredibly annoying, and like, it's ridiculous. What do you think? Leave a like, subscribe, check out the Patreon if you want to see more, and I will catch you next time, my delinquents. What do you think about this guy's opinion, or is he just a crazy that we should hopefully yeet? If only, bro. If only. Okay, see you next time.